Once again, IU, great season, man. I think the whole Hoosier Nation's proud of you. Tracy, give us an overview of today's game.
Well, I mean, entertainment value, I think it was off the charts. It's just one of those where you had two guys who were on tonight, and both of them throwing extremely well. And unfortunately, we came out on the wrong end of that. But when you sit back and as a coach, you try to evaluate how your team plays and the performance. And sure, I could be disappointed with the lack of effectiveness in the batter's box, but I think a lot of that has to do with what their guys doing against us. But there was so much good in that game, and Aaron Slagers, I thought threw his rear end off and gave us a chance to win even down to the last out. Probably a bigger perspective on this is that this thing, win, lose, or draw. As a coach, you have those seasons where you just hate for it to end, and unfortunately, it ends for us tonight. But whether we won a national championship or not, the toughest part for me was going to be walking off the field with, for the last time, with some of the individuals here, and so I'm disappointed with the loss, but my stomach's going to churn, when you got to say goodbye to some of these guys. But that was nothing to hang our heads about. That was a heck of a baseball game.
Okay, we'll start questioning now. Aaron, you have something?
Aaron Fitt, Baseball America. Coach, given the balance of your lineup and the way your team has performed all year long, were you surprised, how much trouble you guys had with lefties, between Iggy and Gerardo and then Boyd today?
Well, the unfortunate, yes, and I'll qualify that because I said it last night. The unfortunate part is, these are some of the best lefties in the country, and it's hard to get mad at your guys. I'd peek up there every once in a while and see the replay of some of the pitches, and they were executing their pitches. I think my SID said right before I came in, this is the first time we were shut out all year. Heck of a time for a shutout. But I thought that kid, he threw a tremendous game. I don't want to say he threw the game of his life because I don't know if he's thrown better than that, but that was one whale of a game. But I give credit to them. We're a good hitting team, and that guy stifled a good hitting team. And it's just one of those things.
Okay, Piv.
Steve Pivovart from the World Herald in town. Both to Michael and Justin, talk about what Boyd was doing and just how difficult he was tonight.
He was spotting his fastball, and he was getting his breaking ball over for a strike too. He really kept us off balance a lot, and we wanted to jump on his fastball, but a lot of the times when his fastball was in the zone, it was right on the inside corner, right on the outside corner. Didn't really leave too much right over the heart of the plate, so he just really spotted the fastball and kept us off balance.
Yeah, like Michael said, he spotted up very well tonight, keeping up off balance with the off speed and in and out of the zone with the fastball, and he just pitched very well.
Thanks, Justin. Questions? Right back here.
Dustin DePierre, Bloomington Herald Times. Aaron, just what was clicking for you? It just seemed like you had basically everything working today. It seemed like it was as good of an outing as you've had in a while.
Yeah, throwing first pitch strike has been a key for me all year. That seemed to be effective early. I got that first pitch strike over, and then it opens up my off speed.
Okay, Eric.
Coach, this is for Eric Sorensen, College Baseball Today. Coach, two things after the game. What did Dave Kalitz say to you after the game? And then I saw you huddle up your team in the dugout. Can you share with us what you said to them at that point?
Yeah, I mean, Dave, being an old Central Michigan guy, Midwest guy there, just congratulated us, and certainly is a leader within our organization, baseball, but just a simple congratulation on a great season. And I've known Dave for a long time, so that was nice of him to do that. At the end, it was just, you're not going to take, it was very simple. You're not going to take away the sting of the loss because, these guys are competitors. Every guy in that dugout, competitor, they want to win. All I hope is that, whether it's 2 hours from now, 2 days from now, 2 months from now, and that they can sit back and say they were part of the greatest baseball team in Indiana history. And I don't want to say Big Ten history because I know there's some championships way back when, but it's been a while, and I think it was important, and I think it will be. We've said, maybe we'll put some context to this when it's over, and but I just, I'm so proud of them. I want them to recognize it. I don't expect it to happen tonight, but I want them to recognize how important that was, not just for Indiana, but for the schools in our conference, and they have nothing to be ashamed of because we've said it, and this is who we are. And the feedback from people, and I'm probably most proud of, is when people that, whether it be an usher or a photographer or someone will say, you know what, Coach, we really enjoyed your team. You guys are classy. That means to me as much as anything we do because that's what we're about. But it was just a simple message of, you're going to hurt, but there's a lot of positive, and it'll feel good someday when you sit back and think about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joe Popley, Indiana Daily student. I think Coach hit it right on the head when he said, it's still going to sting right now, but for all three of you, when is it going to be where you think you can reflect on the season and just, your takeaway from this entire journey?
I don't think it'll be that long from now. I mean, we know what we were able to accomplish this year, and we know that it was a historic season for Indiana, and we're really proud of that. But yeah, it obviously does sting now, but we will be able to enjoy it at some point.
Yeah, it's going to take a while, but we played very well this season, no doubt about that. And the loss tonight stings because not what we wanted. We wanted to go farther. Didn't want the season to end like this. But, yeah, you can't deny that we had a pretty good season. It'll take a while, but we can reflect on that.
Yeah, just building off what they said too. It's just tough to know that a lot of these guys, it's our last time playing together, and guys we respect a lot. Obviously, our teammates. We're all best friends, and it's just really brutal to know it's the last one.
Hey, Pam.
Steve Pivovar from the World Herald. Aaron, you could see right off the bat that Boyd was going to be pretty sharp tonight. Does that kind of cut into do you realize quickly that your margin for error is going to be probably pretty slim, and does that help you raise your game?
I think to a point, yeah. It emphasizes every pitch to pitch. From the beginning, it's a big emphasis pitch to pitch. But when you know the guy on the other side's throwing well, it gives you a little bit more motivation to make those pitches because runs are going to be at a premium.
You're in the back.
Steve Andrus, WDRB TV. For Aaron, specifically about this game, not necessarily the whole season, but looking down the road, how much do you think you'll maybe tell friends and family how outstanding you were tonight, even though you came out on the wrong side of it?
Looking back on this game, I think I just talk about. I don't know about this game, but I mean, a lot of plays were made behind me. Mike and Chad up the middle made some spectacular plays. Sam, Travis at first. I just tried to do my part to get the win.
Okay, Kendall.
Kendall Rogers, Perfect Game. Tracy, I guess kind of looking ahead to the future here, from your perspective, being a Northern guy, just talk about what you think this means to the conference as a whole. I know you talked about kind of touching on that with the players, but now people are moving forward are going to say, hey, Indiana is who we want to be.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I hope we get some respect. But it's one of those things we're not. You have to. I think why it's so important was to get here. I mean, because this thing seems so far, and I'm talking about the College World Series. This thing seems so far off for programming. You hear people talk about it, but until you're there and you experience it, it's just kind of what you see on TV. And and I'm stubborn enough where I'm not going to come out and sit and watch it. I'm not going to watch everybody else have fun. So I think it was. I think it was important for our guys to see it. It was definitely important for me to see it. As I said, as walking to some of the guys that are going to return, is now we've seen the blueprint. We know what areas we need to improve on. We know what it takes to get here. Excuse me. You got to be darn good. And I almost think in some ways it's harder to get here. And that sounds stupid, but it's harder to get here than actually play. But I think it's important for your program. I think you have to take that next step. But as far as for Northern baseball and, you know, what that means for Indiana and how that's going to play out in the future, I hope people, I mean, I'll temper myself, but I hope people realize we play some pretty good baseball up there. And it may take a little bit, I always say, to get our sea legs. And unfortunately, the way our system is set up right now, that can affect your access to the NCAA tournament. And Indiana hit it right this year. We played well early in the season. And we were able to showcase what we do. But the truth of the matter is, I feel in my heart of hearts, there's probably 3 or 4 schools that we played against in that area. They're probably playing the same caliber of baseball, but we just don't have the access. But I hope we earned some respect and some love from some national publications as we move forward. But then I say that, you know, jokingly.
Our last question will be from Michael.
Michael Pointer from the Indianapolis Star. Tracy, LSU came here with a really powerful lineup, and their coach was pretty candid yesterday. He said, I think we let the ballpark get in our heads a little bit. Do you feel like your guys did that at all, or do you just look back and say, hey, we ran into some great left-handed pitching and we just got beat?
Well, I mean, I think I don't think our guys, honestly, I don't think it was in their heads. I really don't. I mean, the ballpark conversation has been the big piece of, you know, a lot of conversations this week. And that's the only thing, and I said it last night, I said that's the only interesting piece, because I heard Coach Maneri's remarks, and that's the only interesting piece. This is a gorgeous park, and this is the, you know, the grand stage, but it's sad a little bit to me that the conversation keeps coming back to the park and not the game itself and the players and the teams themselves. So, but I don't know. I don't have a solution. I don't think that was a part of what, you know, our failure. I would agree with you. You know, we struck a couple balls well. I would say in the Mississippi State game, it probably was more of a factor. But, you know, the pitching we faced, those guys were really good. So small ballpark, big ballpark, I don't know what the result would have been. But it wasn't in our heads. I really don't think it was.